Japan is a mystery. It's the ideal blending of cutting-edge technology moving at breakneck speed with centuries-old customs. Many first-time visitors to Japan are frequently shocked to discover that this very small Asian country, which is one of the world's most sophisticated industrialized nations, also enjoys a rich and interesting history that extends back thousands of years. Japan gives tourists a true feast with bustling megacities, tranquil islands and beaches, and alpine onsen settlements. Although there are undoubtedly countless ways to experience Japan's joys, some cities and locations are essential to any wonderful vacation there. Here are our top 10 picks for destinations in Japan. Number 1. Mount Fuji. Majestic Mount Fuji is not just Japan's tallest mountain peak, but also without a doubt its most recognizable landmark. This spectacular and legendary mountain, which rises 3,776 meters over an otherwise mainly flat landscape to the south and east, is tall enough to be visible from Tokyo, more than 100 kilometers distant. Since Mount Fuji has been praised in literature and art for ages, it is now regarded as such a significant emblem that in 2013, UNESCO acknowledged its global cultural value. More than 1 million people climb Mount Fuji every summer as a form of pilgrimage that ends in viewing the sunrise from its peak. Mount Fuji is a part of the Fuji Hakone-Itsu National Park. While some climbers still opt to start at the bottom, the majority now start at the 5th station, which results in a more doable ascent of 6 to 8 hours. If you do decide to tackle the entire climb, it is advisable that you leave in the afternoon and break up the ascent with an overnight stay in one of the mountain huts built specifically for this reason. The next morning, an early rise brings you to the summit in time to see the dawn. Number 2. Imperial Tokyo. When visiting the nation's capital, you absolutely must see the Imperial Palace, which is Tokyo's most well-known site. It has stunning 17th century grounds that are encircled by walls and moats. Don't let the fact that the imperial family still uses most of the palace deter you. There is still much to see by merely roaming the grounds. Visitors are allowed in the East Higashi-gyoen Garden and other sections that are available to the public as part of an arranged tour, in addition to the countless lovely views of the palace from various locations in the surrounding parks. The renowned Nijibashi Bridge, often known as the Double Bridge, is one of the most attractive sights because of its watery reflection. The renowned Ginza retail area is another attraction that travelers to Tokyo must see. The Kabuki-za Theater, which hosts kabuki plays, as well as the Shimbashi and Bujo Theater, which hosts traditional Azuma Adori dances and Bunraku performances, are both located in this always busy location. Number 3. Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park. Much can be written about the extraordinary efforts this dynamic city has taken to remember the numerous victims of the world's first nuclear strike, even though nothing needs to be said about the atrocities of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima in August 1945. Hiroshima has come to represent long-lasting peace, which is maybe even more significant. In what was once a lively area of the city, Hiroshima Peace National Park is visited by more than 1 million people annually, many of whom come from outside. There are several significant memorials, museums, and monuments in the area dedicated to the events of that tragic day. Along with the grounds and gardens and their vibrant cherry blossoms, the park is home to the Peace Memorial Museum, which has a number of exhibitions addressing the topic of international peace. The atom bomb dome, the remains of an administrative structure that stood in the epicenter of the explosion, may also be found there, along with the Memorial Kenotapa and the Flame of Peace. Number 4. Historic Kyoto. Gorgeous Kyoto, one of the few towns in Japan spared from the destruction of World War II, is one of the most popular tourist destinations in the nation, drawing more than 10 million tourists a year. The majority of them are in Kyoto to see its beautiful ancient streets and buildings, most of which have been untouched since the Imperial Dynasty moved there more than 1,000 years ago. The city was already the most significant cultural hub in Japan at the time. In reality, this heritage is still present today in the numerous museums and galleries that are home to significant sculptures, paintings, and other works of art. Many of Kyoto's well-preserved temples, 30 of which are still in operation, and significant buildings like the 14th century Golden Pavilion, which is renowned for its magnificent gold leaf-clad facade, are highlights of the city's Buddhist-influenced architecture. Visit Niju Castle as well, a castle from the 17th century that still retains its original walls, towers, and moat. The castle's stunning gates and palace, which feature tasteful interior decoration, are well worth visiting. Number 5. The Island Shrine of Itsukushima, Miyajima. The island of Miyajima, often known as Japan's Shrine Island, is only a short boat journey from Hiroshima's mainland. Miyajima is a 30 square kilometer island in Hiroshima Bay, most known for being the location of the Itsukushima Shrine, a Shinto shrine honoring the princess daughters of the wind god Susanoo. The majority of the shrine structures, which date to the 8th century, stand out of the water in a small bay supported solely by piles. At high tide, these monuments, notably the well-known Great Floating Gate, appear to be floating on water, which creates an absolutely magnificent sight. It's an interesting area to visit, especially its bigger rooms, which are connected by walkways and bridges. The Honden, the Offerings Hall, the Prayer Hall, and the Hall of 1,000 Mats are a few examples of them. The shrine's stage, where visitors may enjoy traditional dances and musical performances, is another noteworthy aspect. The beautiful grounds and gardens of the island, which are home to wild deer and various bird populations, are well worth exploring. Number 6. Temple City, historic Nara. The picturesque, pristine city of Nara, which served as a center of Japanese culture for centuries, is home to several ancient structures, significant national treasures, and works of art. The city is home to various significant antique temples in addition to its numerous historic streets. These include the majestic Kofukuoka Temple from the 7th century, which is arguably the best known of Nara's 7 great temples, and the spectacular Todaiji from the 8th century, which is well known for the enormous bronze statue of the great Buddha that was cast there in 749 AD. The Great South Gates of Todaiji is also noteworthy. The impressive 2-story tower that protects the temple's entrance is supported by 18 columns and 2 8-meter-tall Neo sculptures. There is also the Hall of the Great Buddha, the world's largest timber building. Number 7. Osaka Castle. The largest and most significant stronghold in Japan at the time, Osaka Castle, was constructed in 1586 by legendary Japanese warrior and statesman Toyotomi Hideyoshi. Despite having been repeatedly demolished and rebuilt since then, the current building, constructed in 1931, stays loyal to the original. A visit should not be missed to see the massive, 5-story, 42-meter-tall main tower. A variety of exhibits tracing the history of the castle and the city are housed in the tower, which is constructed on an imposing 14-meter-tall stone base. Visit the top level for its magnificent views of Osaka, which are especially lovely as the sun sets. The Hokoku Shrine, which is located in Osaka Castle Park, is particularly noteworthy. Shitenji, Osaka's most well-known temple, is also well worth a visit and dates back to 59 AD. This gorgeous shrine has a 5-story pagoda along with a variety of other wonderfully built structures. It is noteworthy as Japan's first Buddhist temple. Number 8. Chubu Sungaku National Park and the Japanese Alps. There are several exceptional natural places in Japan, many of which have been classified as national parks, or in certain cases, UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Chubu Sungaku National Park, located in the heart of Honshu, is one of the most breathtaking in the whole nation. The Hida Mountains, also known as the Japanese Alps, is a collection of mountains that are situated in the park's northern and central parts. Some of the tallest mountains in the nation, including Hotaka and Yari, are found in this area. The Japanese Alps are similar to the Alps of Central Europe in many aspects, including the nature of the scenery and the availability of snow in the winter, and they draw a lot of hikers and climbers in the summer and skiers in the winter. Number 9. The Atsuda Shrine, Nagoya. The most significant Shinto temple in Japan is the Atsuda Shrine, which is located in the center of Nagoya and receives more than 5 million visitors annually. In addition to its main shrine, Hongu, which is enclosed by a wall, This religious site, which dates back to the 1st century, is well known for its preserved imperial insignia, the grass mowing sword, one of only 3 in the nation. Its treasury also holds a number of works of art, including ancient and contemporary paintings, ceramics, jewelry, and traditional masks. While in Nagoya, be sure to visit Nagoya Castle. Built in 1612, this magnificent moated complex has a 48-meter-tall main tower that is renowned for housing 2 gold dolphins. A major attraction is its museum, which houses priceless works of art from the previous palace, as well as breathtaking views over the city and the Nobi Plain. And number 10, Fukuoka Castle ruins and the city's ancient festivals. In the center of Maizuru Park are the crumbling remains of the once grand Fukuoka Castle, which was constructed in the early 1600s. The castle was once a magnificent illustration of the many opulent hilltop residences that shoguns and city governors favored. But as a response to the feudal system, it was dismantled following the Meiji Restoration. Only the castle's remnants, which include the main gate and one of the towers, are visible today. The lush walking routes and picturesque lookouts, which offer stunning views of the Naka River, are the primary draws for tourists. Views of the city beyond are visible if you climb to the top of the ruins. When the cherry blossoms are in full bloom in the spring, the park is extremely gorgeous. Fukuoka is renowned for hosting several festivities and events. The most well-known of them is Hakata Gion Yamakasa, a well-known 700-year-old festival celebrated every July that attracts millions of tourists from all over the nation to its vibrant parades, traditional races, and costumes. Japan is something else. From futuristic skyscrapers to tranquil bamboo forests, neon arcades to serene temples, it's like nowhere else on the planet. Which of these places do you want to visit? Also, check out this other video if you want to visit India. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more of our top 10 prime picks.